I'd like to talk a little bit about balance. And balance is something that is necessary in our lives, but sometimes we don't put it into perspective and we ask how, we can create balance in our lives. And I just go back as far as our own traditional teachings. We got a very important element of balance within all of our ceremonies and everything that we do. So when I reflect on that word balance, it always refers me back to the medicine wheel that most Aboriginal people have adopted as a standard way of creating, commonality in their life. And if you achieve those things through your spiritualness, your physical being, your emotions, and your mentalness, then I think you have a great opportunity for achieving things even stronger than if you don't. So I'd like to acknowledge that teaching, because if we get them out of tune, then we become a little bit more susceptible to potentially dangerous issues in our lives. If we don't look at our emotions properly, we don't understand love and hate and anger and how we react to our emotions, then it becomes pretty dangerous. But there's another word in our language, we call it weendigo. Weendigo is the opposite of too much of anything. We can be outside of the balance in the opposite way. And that weendigo in our lifetime becomes something like a cannibal. It'll eat you up if you have too much spirituality in your life, and that consumes everything that you do. Then you're probably taken away from your physical, your emotional, your mental. So we have to keep it in balance, in a perfect circle. And that's how Native people have always thought of that circle being so important. It creates that balance for everybody, and we have that opportunity to know when we're going on one side of it or the other. And that's the role of our elders and our spiritual people, is to watch that within individuals, so that when we see them getting off of their path, then we enter their lives and we try to nudge them back into that balance once again. And it happens so often, though, that our elders are really pressed for time, especially with their family members, to get their families back into balance. And I think that's an important factor, when our elders are passing away and have not been given that teaching. Residential schools played a big role in taking away a lot of these understandings. And now that they weren't able to give that message to the next generation, then we're starting to lose a lot of those values that Native people have always believed in so heavily. And so we're trying to recover that with those particular elders who have been able to regain that and to pass that knowledge on to the next generation. Every family has elders who carry that knowledge, and once they're gone and we didn't recover that from them, then the next generation gets a little bit more weakened. We see a lot of damage in families. We see the suicide rates in Aboriginal communities are extremely high. And if you don't have that knowledge in that balance, then we're going to see it even increase in future generations. So that's why there's a state of emergencies happening in First Nation communities right now, is because they're trying to recover that balance and that medicine wheel teaching, so that they can bring that back to their communities and generate that strength that they have as individuals and as communities. And I think it'll grow a lot stronger. And I think even mainstream is looking for that too. We've become a complacent society that only deals in economic value. And that economic value doesn't always supply the balance that we need. People will kill for a higher standard of living. They'll die for a higher standard of living, but that's what shortens your lives. If you don't have that balance, economically, emotionally, all those things, then it consumes us. And that's what that word weendigo was about. Taking too much of something and not balancing everything else in life. Everything relates to that medicine wheel. The way we live, our economy, our education, our spiritualness, all relates back to that balance that the medicine wheel has created for us. And I think we were given that, directly from our Creator. And then our elders' role is to keep that alive in the lifespan of everybody in their life. So that's what our role is right now, is to keep that knowledge base alive. Because, like I said, residential schools that try to take that away from us did so much damage. And now when I see those elders that went to residential school, had that knowledge but didn't pass it on because they felt that they would be, I can only say in my own family, my dad didn't pass that knowledge on because he felt like he was going to be punished for passing on knowledge to his family. So he kept it inside of him, but it was there. And when he was ready to pass away, he brought a lot of that knowledge back out, and we knew that it was there. We knew that it was there then. So I think that's the most important message that I can give to anybody. If Creator called me home today, and people look back at the legacy that we all create in this world, I hope it's about balance. I hope I was able to live that balance. This life is short, and we need to do all we can to help the future generations, at least even 7 generations to come. And I think if we keep this land healthy and safe and create that balance, we'll achieve many, many more important things that need to be done. So I honor the elders, and I want to honor Aboriginal traditional knowledge, because Indigenous people around the world, the theme is always the same. The Indigenous peoples in the world know that if you keep your planet healthy, you keep Mother Earth healthy, then we'll be healthy as individuals.